I'm author Ross McMeekin, and my novel, The Hummingbirds, is coming out February 6th, 2018. Hummingbirds is about three characters that are all at a crossroads in their life, and they're trying to basically transcend their lives the way that they are. All three of them are trying to actually break through class boundaries as well, and they have an idealism and an optimism about them as well. They're trying to basically believe the world is a certain way. They deal with the consequences of their idealism throughout the book. The idea for this book came from an image actually that popped into my head of the vast expanses of lawn outside of a mansion in Los Angeles. And that was the initial image, and I wrote into that, and the characters kind of sprang out of it. At first, it doesn't seem that Ezra Fogg's background growing up in a cult that deified birds, that his mom was the prophetess of, doesn't seem like that ties in any way into Hollywood and the culture of stardom. But as I wrote into it, I realized that there actually are a lot of connections. Specifically, I believe we treat religious leaders very similar to the way that we treat movie stars. We endow them with characteristics, I would say, of gods. We believe that they are more than human. We deify them. We have expectations for them that are unrealistic. And then we get very disappointed when they don't live up to those characteristics. And so I found that there's kind of a dual narrative that's going on between Ezra's background and Sybil's foreground of being a starlet herself. Los Angeles, Hollywood exists powerfully in people's minds as a place that isn't physical, but is actually an idea. And I thought, what would happen if I tried to write the idea of this place and basically make a physical reality of it? The pistol butt struck Ezra Fogg's skull, and the night stars smeared. Ezra reached out for balance, but it was no use. His whirling mind couldn't hold still. He stumbled, blacked out, and fell overboard. Moments later, he woke submerged in the cold silence of the ocean, nose and mouth filled with salt water. He choked and kicked through the muted darkness towards what he hoped was air until finally, body furious, mind in hysterics, he broke the surface. He coughed and spat, and his starving lungs fought for breath. Iridescent lights flared about his vision. His left temple burned. His fingers felt for the ache and winced at the tender knot. He gathered himself and treaded water. Slowly, his mind recovered some measure of sense, and with it, his vision cleared enough for him to spot the rowboat, already a dozen yards away, sliding farther into the dark. He felt ill. He retched up seawater. Swells moved through him as he again struggled to catch his breath. Once the dizziness passed and the stars flickering above settled back into place, all that had happened came back. It had been a fair fight, and he'd been winning. And now he was alone, 2 miles out in the cold Pacific, dim lawns taunting him from shore. No one to blame but himself. He wiped his nose, and what he felt was warm and smooth. Blood. His throat tightened. In his imagination, the vast maw of the sea opened below. Anything could be down there. The boat was now only a jot on the horizon script.